How's everyone doing? Been a week since we last played. Actually, it's been a little bit more than a week. It's been probably close to 2 weeks. Last time we streamed, we did do some coding, and I'd spent a lot more time on that coding, by the way. But we are back to CrossCode, and I think we are at the next temple, the next dungeon. And it might be a long one, if the first one's any indication. So we probably have some things to do before the dungeon, right? Questing and whatnot. But we may skip that and do that after the dungeon. I think there's still probably exploration we haven't done in the Maroon Desert. But I'm really feeling like, let's try to get this dungeon going. So here we are. Get this over to the main scene. Okay, so, gotta remember how to play. Got it. Let's see. I don't even think we fully really even explored, like, the town. I mean, like, look, this building, both look like they're not really explored. There's clearly a chest right there, so there's a lot of stuff we could be doing. Oh, and you know what? Sorry. I want to move my face. Right over there, and then we will just flip it around. Not like that. No, not like that. I feel like I always get that backwards. I don't know why. But here we are in the quest log. So we have the Tree Defender quest. Enter the cave below. Oh, actually, we might need to do this one before we can do the temple. I do not want to stream from a monkey bar. You know, I was always bad at the monkey bars. I feel like as a kid, you do okay on the monkey bars, and I feel like I did okay, but that... I don't remember really enjoying the monkey bars. Upside down camera for the entire stream? Yes, maybe. You know, if this game has like a Bizarro World sort of situation, yeah, let's flip it upside down. Yeah, you know what? I think we might need to do this Maroon Tree Defender quest before we can do anything else. I'm having a little bit of memory of that here. We can also clearly go back to Henry and turn these quests in. If it's anything like Earthbound, yeah. I don't know if it's gonna be like Earthbound. I imagine it's not, but you know, who knows? It could. Oh, right, this was a thing for Bergen Trail. We now have the arid lumber, but we need to go back and get more ice if we want to turn that quest in. Can we click on this and see what the rewards are? I mean, it's good XP chunk, right? And money. Oh, and this one's all the way back at Rookie Harbor. Okay, let's focus on this one. So the maroon tree from the threat of the sandworms, and this is at the cave below the pink-colored maroon tree. So in the east of Maroon Valley. So let's take a look at our map again. Back. Because it's gonna be one of these fields. I mean, I clearly remember the place, but entrance, Rune Oasis. It's probably down here, honestly. It's probably down here somewhere. So let's go ahead and teleport ourselves out here. Never played Earthbound. You know what? I know about Earthbound, but I too have actually never played Earthbound or Mother, right? Because the game's actually called Mother 2 Earthbound or something. don't think it's ever gonna get a modern day remake though. You got your pizza, nice. And roast chicken. Right. You know, that was actually one of the games that I was thinking about. Like, it's a game that I've wanted to play for a while, and a lot of people say it's a really good game. So maybe we would do an Earthbound playthrough at some point. Maybe. See, there's lots of other games. Speaking of other games, right? We have in April, the Mega Man Battle Network games are coming out. And again, I mean, they're old games, right? But we're going to replay them. At least we're going to play the first one at a minimum. I have really fond memories of that game. But it could be through rose-colored nostalgia glasses. The game might not be any good. We'll see. Let's see. You've played minutes of Earthbound. Oh, your sister is playing it. That's cool. Yes, Mega Man in April. Also, Meet Your Maker is in April, too. That's a good call, Bomber. I am planning to buy that as well. I don't know how we're going to split it. We might do back and back, like Mega Man and then Meet Your Maker. I don't know. We'll see. If anything, Meet Your Maker will be pushed off. Although, that being said, Mega Man's not going to change. We could play that 10 months from now. It's still going to be the same game. Meet Your Maker might not be, right? We were talking about this, how once people discover the meta, the best ways to make their dungeons, it's going to change the way that the game's played. Yeah, Darth, I feel like if they were ever going to do a re-release of the Mother series, it would literally just be a re-release. Like, it would come out on the Switch eShop, and there you go. I don't think they would ever do anything more. That being said, right, you know, I feel like we had this conversation. I don't remember who was here, but we were talking about Ness in Super Smash Brothers, right? Because he is clearly from Earthbound, but I feel like more people know Ness from Super Smash Brothers anymore than they do from the Mother games. And in fact, he's been in more Super Smash Brothers games than he has been in Mother games, which is kind of funny. But with the character being known, but maybe not a lot of people having played that game, maybe they would want to make a new one or do some sort of re-release or a remake. Who knows? So the Mega Man games that we're playing, Darth, that are coming out in April, are the Battle Network games. They are Mega Man, but they're very different than the original Mega Man games. So in the original Mega Man games, which I'm sure you're aware, right? It's a side-scroller, platformer, action shooter sort of game with the ability to defeat your boss and take their power, and that's really cool. This game, the Battle Network games, yeah, Internet Mega Man, exactly, is what it is. So in this game, you play as Lan, the main character, who has a device that has his, what do they call them? I don't remember what they call them exactly, but they're cyber buddies. They're AI, basically, right? So almost everyone has their own version, right? And what they do is they go into their computer, go to their computer or some random jack, and they jack in, that's what it's called. And you jack in, and then your AI, now you play your AI, and that happens to be Mega Man. So there's like this whole RPG story that you're going through, and you're going back and forth between the real world and the internet world. And when you're in the internet world, you're doing battles, and the battles take place on a 3x3 grid. So you have a 3x3, and the enemy has a 3x3. And you get cards, and you get to like use the cards as abilities and whatnot. It was a really fun system. Yes, so the Battle Network games, right, there's all sorts of them, you know, X and Legends and all that, but Battle Network is so different than all the other ones. Honestly, the only thing it has in common is you know, Mega Man is in it with his Buster, and some of the, like, Cutman is going to be in it and stuff like that, but otherwise, it's almost its own entire game, and I really, really enjoy it. Mega Man Tamagotchis? Yeah, kinda. Kinda. What do they call them? Oh, pet. Yeah, they call them their pet. That's right. It stands for something personal. We'll find out. We'll find out in April. It's coming soon. It's coming real soon. But yes, you fight viruses, or you can fight other people's pets as well. You will. It's gonna be a good time. I know that I had originally played. Hey, this is exactly where we wanted to be. Here's the pink tree. I had played the first one, and I played the second one, and I'm fairly certain once they got to 3, they decided to do the Pokemon thing where they have a red version and a blue version. I'm pretty sure I played the blue version on 3, and I don't think I ever played any more past that. And I don't know exactly what we'll do on stream, but we're at least going to play the first one. I imagine today, when we go through and do that playthrough, hopefully we can just sort of breeze through it. I do remember as... I was much younger when I played those games when they first came out. I don't know what year they came out, but I do remember at certain points maybe getting stuck on where do we go next? But I have a feeling, looking through that fresh at eyes as an adult, we'll be like, oh yeah, clearly we go talk to this dude now and do that thing. Yes, yeah, right. You know, it's really interesting. Drop my phone. Hold on. It's really interesting how Nintendo and some of the IPs on Nintendo are treated. Right? You bring up a great point, Darth. It depends entirely how. I'm gonna say the name's probably wrong, but Shigeru Sato feels about it, or how Miyamoto with Super Mario, or Aonuma? Man, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but with Zelda, right? You're exactly right. It's so funny how the creators of those, series have so much say in it, and it's not just Nintendo who has the say, right? They are the creator. They get all sorts of decision-making abilities and all that kind of stuff. Whereas, if tomorrow EA decided, well, you know what? We own that Mass Effect. Let's go ahead and remake Mass Effect. But let's make Mass Effect totally different. They could just totally do that, and there's no one who has say in that. Even though like the original creators and BioWare and all that were there and involved, if EA decided tomorrow they wanted a new Mass Effect, and the new Mass Effect had nothing to do with space or even any of the lore that was already out there, they could totally do that. And it's a very different system, and it probably has something to do with, Japanese culture versus non-Japanese culture, but who knows? You had each different version, Bomber. Yes, they did have different chips to collect, and I feel, wasn't there a trade system too? My cousin, he would get the other one, and we would play and do it that way, but I can't remember exactly the system, so I feel like there was some sort of trade system, and you could trade the chips. What were the Mega Man games that were like almost a third-person shooter RPG? I don't think I ever played one of those. I don't know. But if anything, it was probably like around the advent of the PlayStation 1, and when everyone's like, hey, we can do third person. There was a GameCube Mega Man game that was third person. I know we haven't actually started playing this game yet, but we're having great discussion. Do you remember the Kirby game on 64? They're like, hey, we can be 3D now, but it was still basically a 2D side scroller. I really liked that game, although it was a little more simplistic, I felt, than the Super Nintendo version of what was it, Dream World or whatever. Metroid, on the other hand, is... Oh, yeah, you're right. Metroid is a different case, for sure. 2 games made by the core team, and then, yeah, Series Authority stepped in from Super Metroid onward. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why they get different treatment. It's a good point, though. It's a great point. Yeah, Kirby 64 was basically 2.5D. I felt like, compared to the past Kirby games, they had simplified things. And I don't know if they had simplified things simply because they were working in a new sort of medium on the 64, and they didn't have as many resources to do, like, let's say, extra enemies or extra power-up abilities. And this could just be totally nothing, but I felt like there were less abilities and less enemies and all that kind of stuff in that game, even though I still enjoyed it. Mega Man Legends that you're thinking of? Maybe. here's the thing. Like, I have played the original Mega Man, and I've played Mega Man 2 and maybe a couple others, but I don't think I've ever played any of the X series. In fact, I wouldn't even say I'm a Mega Man fan myself. I don't dislike Mega Man, but I really am a Mega Man Battle Network fan. That's really where, like, I got really into Mega Man itself, and not necessarily Mega Man itself. So. Kirby 64 did have less abilities. Had the dual copy. Oh, that's right. You could combine two powers. I totally forgot about that. Maybe. Do they have? My Switch is still right here. Do we have? Do they have Kirby 64 on the? I don't even know what they call it. The 64 network thing that you can do, and you can play some of the old games. Maybe that would be like a good, like, just one day stream. Let's just do Kirby 64 and see how far we get. It's so funny. I pay for Nintendo Online, that $20 a year or whatever it is, and I don't ever use it, but I still have it. I'll have to check. And that 64 thing, I feel like the 64 games you have to pay more for. But maybe I'll check it out. I'll check it out. You'll have to remind me, though, because I may forget. Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 are coming. Ooh. Pokemon Stadium 1 specifically. Maybe we'll give that a check. That could be really fun. Stop, human! You need Pass from Eldris if you want to enter a cave. We have that. Hey, Leah, do you want to tackle the Maroon Tree quest by yourself now? I thought you wanted to meet Citron north of Bakikum. You forgot! Better don't let the poor guy wait too long. I did forget, but that's because we haven't played for a couple days. We're gonna get our Hexblade. There he is, actually, right there. Hexblade? It's not Hexblade. Hexcast, I think. Let's temper our expectations, Bomber. It would not be a speedrun. I really like speedrunning. I like watching speedrunning, right? Get that up on Twitch on a different monitor. I can do something, I can have a speedrun going, and I'll, get sucked into that. I don't think I have the patience to, like, learn a speedrun. It's so funny, like, watching someone speedrun Final Fantasy VII, where that game takes literal hours. Like, it's like half a day, the speedrun the game. I feel like the top tier are somewhere around 7.5 hours or something. But, like, to speedrun that game is ridiculous to me. But then even to like, learn how to speedrun a game that you could beat in an hour, typically when you play casual, that hour still ends up being, like, 15 hours or something. So, like, to learn how to, like, cut all the little corners down, I don't think I have that ability in me. Yes, a casual speedrun, for sure. I agree with you. I dislike all the consistent memberships, and since we're talking about that, right? Like how Netflix, right? Netflix came out and they had their membership, and I was like, great, Netflix is great. In fact, I had Netflix when it was just DVDs. Great. And then I knew, like, oh, well, hold on. There's going to eventually be a competitor. That's fine. Hulu came out. Great. But then, the writing was on the wall of, oh, well, everyone else is going to make their own streaming platform, which now we're in that world. And you can either pay like $80 a month or more for, like, high-quality streaming from all these different things so you can watch everything, or you don't. And it's really disappointing. But if we went back like 10 years or whatever to the old original Netflix when everything was just on Netflix, that was the best. But yeah, no, I get the same thing. Like, I don't have an Xbox, so I don't pay for Xbox Online. I mean, I used to on my 360, but I haven't had an Xbox since the 360. I do pay for the PlayStation. I don't pay for now that PlayStation has their top tiers, I don't pay for that. I just have the base tier, so I can play online on the rare chance I do that. I will say, though, Bomber, that the game-breaking, like, special stuff is what's so cool about speedrunning, right? So if we ever really did try to do speedrunning, we'd want to pick one that has like a lot of cool, like weird tricks where you're glitching through walls or zipping through levels or something. That if we ever tried it, so LeCloud, right? You've seen LeCloud on the Valheim streams. He actually does occasionally try to. He doesn't ever stream it, but he does occasionally do speedruns for Phantasy Star Online. And Phantasy Star Online is one of those games where we will eventually be playing on stream, and it'll probably end up being a somewhat consistent game at that point whenever we play it. So maybe he could show us some things about speedrunning specifically, but. Yes. Right, if you're paying for something like Netflix, absolutely, we shouldn't be having commercials. I hate that too. So here's the thing, like, I, as many other people, right, share a Netflix account with some other people, and when I say other people, I just literally mean my parents, right? We don't even have the 4K package, but I kind of want it. I mean, I have a 4K TV, but like, justifying that cost to go up to that is one thing, but just me and my parents have it, right? And now, you know, with the whole thing about Netflix trying to like cut down on people sharing it, I mean, even in a close family member has me going, I don't know, maybe in a year from now I won't have Netflix, so we'll see. I do pay for Hulu as well, and I like Hulu, so. Yeah, and actually, Darth, that's actually a great point. I find most of the stuff I watch nowadays, like, there are certain things on Netflix I do want to watch. There are certain things on Hulu I do want to watch. But the majority of my watch time is either YouTube or Twitch. It is. My wife and I have quite a few different people that we watch on YouTube together. And then Twitch stuff I just watch on my own all the time. And because I can, because of my job, I'm able to have like Twitch going in the background, so I'll have someone up watching. You do have YouTube Premium, though. You have to let me know what you think of that. Oh, you don't think you're going to be keeping it? Because I've seen it before, too, and I don't know. Fast walking, yeah. Yes. I don't know, it's just interesting, I think, for a game like Kirby, that I've beaten it at least twice, many years ago when it came out. It would be interesting to go back, play it again, kind of knowing how the mechanics work, even though I don't remember exactly. Like, it would just come back to you, and then like just see how far we get in a couple hours, and then decide, right, yeah, are we done with it, or do we want to keep going? There you are. Hello. Hi. So we finally meet. I read that backwards. I already introduced myself before, right? Well, I know Citron is a bit strange. You can also call me Toby, if you like his name. I didn't know that you could download videos for offline viewing. Use it for music, yeah. Yeah, if you were gonna use it for music, that would absolutely be, like, required, right? So I assume you can download for music and then play without the video going? Because that was something that I had tried, I played around with before, trying to, like, listen to music. But you have to have the video going, and if the video's not going, you don't get the music anymore. Or Tronny. That's what all the guild members call me. He doesn't seem to like Tronny. Ow. Huh? Drat! You can't speak! I forgot again! I'm so sorry. I tend to be a bit of an airhead sometimes. Emily isn't around? Too bad. I didn't have the chance to meet her yet. So, since we're both here, did you already finish the Maroon Tree quest? We didn't finish that yet. Bomber. We're not on an RP server. Background plays. Yeah, okay, that's what we're talking about then for that music, that background play. I had tried it. I feel like this actually would have been probably 6 years ago or something. I feel like I tried it at work, listening to music from YouTube, but it wasn't worth it because I had to also stream the video. Nowadays for music, again, another membership, I do use Amazon's music service, and I really actually quite like it. Neither have I. So how about we do that quest together? Sounds good? Okie dokie, let's go then. I mean, of course, there's no reason to rush. We could do a couple other quests first, or just explore whatever you prefer. No, I feel like we move on. Like we were saying, here's the thing. If we hold on, like, if we've been streaming for an hour and a half and we haven't started the temple yet, we're absolutely gonna go do side quests. Because the temple, if it's anything like the last one, is gonna probably take us close to 2 hours. It was a very long temple. Also, we have no idea what this guy is like, playstyle's like. See what he can do. I'm actually really interested. I was saying before, if I had the ability to pick what class to play, I probably would have picked the Hex Mage, Hex Cat, whatever he is. I like magic users. There we are, that must be the Maroon tree. Stop human! There's quite a few other video platforms you're keeping your eye on. Oh, whenever you're uploading your video content? Yeah, I mean, that's a discussion, right? Will there ever be a YouTube server? I mean, ever's a long time. Short term, I don't think so. I think there's plenty of other places out there that you can absolutely utilize, but the place that's got the most viewers, though, is going to be YouTube for the short term. And this is the same thing with like Twitch, right? You could stream on YouTube. You could. You'd probably get following, but is it going to be the same as Twitch? At this moment, no. Although I don't have confidence necessarily that Twitch will be the top dog in the next 10 years. Who knows? But you know, today it is. You've got people you met online and then in person who call you Palmer. People who know you from work, you only see online now, and they also call you Palmer. Nice. You need pass from Eldris. Oh, is that the pass? So human must be here to help defeat Sandworm. Great. Then please enter cave and defeat all Sandworm. That is all. And you remember, if these are the same Sandworms we saw before, fire will break their shield, or their defense, or whatever. Odyssey is the one you're favoring the most for videos? You know what? I only know of Odyssey. I've literally never heard of it, but I saw on your Twitch page an Odyssey link, and I was like, what is that? And I clicked on it and went over to it. That's the only time I've ever even heard of it, which isn't a great thing for it. I mean, you know, it could get a lot bigger and more name recognition, but like, I'd never even heard of it. Chad, almost forgot. There is a very strong red sandworm in cave. Please defeat that worm. Most important, because very dangerous to tree. Red sandworm will also drop strange item. Show me item to prove you defeated red sandworm, okay? I feel like we don't see Leah make this face very often. I like this one. Oh, I sort of just realized that, like, I'm slightly covering her head. Let me know if that's a problem. If it is, we'll try and find a different camera position. Good luck, human. Gosh, what a loud fellow. It was loud. Okay, in we go. Cave time! Wait, there's running water down here? That's weird, considering there are lakes out there. You'd think everything would flood. I suppose you could make it work by carefully crafting the area somehow. Look at this. Already found a jumping spot. We're gonna check this place out. Oh, really? That's all it did? I thought I was clever finding that. I wasn't. Oh, no, I was. That's a ledge up there. Okay, okay. So then we jump to this ledge, and then we can get to some other places. Nice. Kebab rolls. Perfect. Nothing else up here, though. Another path down. So what is it about Odyssey that that you're favoring it? Like, why is it on your list? Hey, look, he's throwing fire at it. Oh, no, okay. I thought I dodged it. Showed them who's boss. Okie dokie! First couple Tims defeated. What's up with that name anyway? Oh yeah, we were talking about the name before. But we don't have any more details for it. It's unfortunate. Odyssey seems to be the most creator-friendly when compared to other YouTube alternatives. It doesn't take a whole lot of the money that should be going in your pocket. You don't know much about the site. 90% of the ad revenue and tips you make go to you and not them. Well, that's a good thing, for sure. Unfortunately, like, how big do you have to be to even get ad revenue and whatnot from them? I wouldn't say I'm big on YouTube, but I would say I'm a lot bigger on YouTube than I am on Twitch. And, I mean, I don't get anything out of it. Other than my own satisfaction. Oh, he's expertly dodged us. Okay, so I'm doing this thing where I hold R2 to do my special attack, and then I keep like holding it, and when I keep doing it, I accidentally charge a second move, and we don't want to do that. I need to remember, let go. Also, is there really nothing over here? Unexpected? Unexpected, very unexpected, because this was like a... It's not like it was a secret spot, but it was a jumping spot. It didn't feel like the main path forward. Although maybe we have to defeat all the Tims in the area in order to unlock the middle path. Seems likely. Let's get the one down the bottom first. Hey, Toby, attack the one I'm attacking. There we go, using our upgraded ability. There goes the middle path unlocked. Level up even! That should be all for this level, right? By the way, did you know that worms have 5 hearts? Like real earthworms do? I mean, they're not quite as complex as human hearts, but still. Makes you wonder about the anatomy of those sandworms. No? I like Toby a lot, actually. I'm liking Toby a lot. Yeah, you're supposed to kill them all, so maybe you have to get them all. Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. So judging from your account settings, you can link up your bank account now if people want to start sending you tips and stuff, even though you don't do anything there yet. I see. Okay. Well, I mean, like, so here's the thing. I could put links on my YouTube videos for like donation, like I have down below here on Twitch. I could do the same thing, and YouTube wouldn't take any of that because it's a direct payment sort of situation. I imagine Odyssey might have it built in directly, maybe. I'm probably gonna call him Toby, not Citron. I don't know why. Toby's easier to remember for me. But I'm liking him a lot. I just like his character. Just like, I know all these things that are not relevant. How many hearts a worm has? We'll tank a few hits. It's not a big deal. Oh, look at that. We got a path up. I'm definitely not going to call him Tronny. I understand why Hilda calls him. Hilda? Was that her name? The guild leader? I understand why she might call him that, though. Oh, here's the boss time. Hold up. Is he going to continually spawn extras? We're going to find out. We're going to try killing this guy first, and then we'll see if he just keeps spawning more. Oh, actually, we didn't have a way up to even get to him. That's not what I want to do. I wanted to do this! Oh, we've broken the first stage. Oh, that's right. You lose your shield when you change elements. I don't love that. I want to be able to like get my buffs and then keep them. Ah, gotcha! Thanks, Bomber, with the example of how to tip. Oh no! Oh no! We're gonna die! I'm gonna say it now. That was not your fault. Okay, okay. Again, I do really appreciate it. We'll get him this time though. I hate how those rocks seem to track you in the air. Man, look how much damage we took just from that portion of the fight. Knocked me off even. I'm gonna need to probably eat food. Food time. Let's just do... Oh, actually, no, it's not. Look how much HP we got. How did we get that? Did Toby heal us? Did I miss that? Can he heal as a mage? No, Bomber, like I said, your tipping did not cause the death. You're going to try to play Kingdom Hearts 4 whenever that comes out. Have they even announced the Kingdom Hearts 4? I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't followed Kingdom Hearts for quite a while. It's, you know, I've beaten the first Kingdom Hearts more than once. I have never beaten Kingdom Hearts 2. And then I didn't play 3 because I never beat 2. When you beat break a phase, you get some healing. Gotcha. Thanks, Astro. Kingdom Hearts 4 was announced on the anniversary last year. Okay. Oh, you know what? Now that you mention it, I feel like I remember seeing... it was like... Wasn't it a gigantic Heartless that they showed off? Like some sort of attack on it? I have that in my head now. Hit, right after, one after another. Tims. They are a huge pain in my butt. Hold up, we gotta heal, and I'm gonna take a hit probably right now. Okay, we did not. Okay. Next phase. Let's get him. That like splash damage is what hit me there. We fell. You know, we didn't fall. I jumped in the wrong spot entirely. I'm gonna just tank that hit so I can get some great damage on here. Got him! Got him! Oh, we got hit. Will there be another stage? No. Good. We got 666 for our credits. And we got Tim residue? Tim? Your chat's got delay today. Oh, man. You know, it'll just be a Twitch thing. I certainly... I don't have, as far as I'm aware, any sort of configured delay, so... let's see... Oh, there was a forced spot that got Star Wars going. You know, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, and that could be really cool, couldn't it? Couldn't that be really cool? You would see Luke Skywalker. Phew. I suppose the Tim residue is the strange item that the guard wants to see, right? Okie dokie then, let's go by. Oh, is that a direct link? Emily? Ah, Le Cherie. Or Leah, Cherie. Hi, I'm wait, who's that? Hello, I'm Citron? Oh, you're the other member from the First Scholars, non? Yes, that's me. Très bien. So you'll join our party, oui? Yes, in fact. So where are you two right now? Leah and I are currently in the Maroon Tree Cave. Maroon Tree Cave. Wait, you started that quest already? It looks like we almost finished it. Aw, man, I wanted to do that quest with you. I'm sorry, I didn't know you had that planned. Non, it's fine. Pas de problème. I'll quickly rush through that quest myself. You two just wait for me, d'accord? Sure. Au revoir. Bye. 3-person team. Drat, I feel bad now. You mean I don't have to? Well, let's just go back to the cave entrance and show the item to the guard. I think the cave interior is instanced, but, we might be able to meet Emily outside. Okay, just making sure there's nothing else in here. You feel like if they're gonna do Kingdom Hearts Companion for Star Wars, it's either gonna be Han or Chewbacca. Yeah, maybe. Oh, so I guess here's the thing. I wasn't thinking that Luke would be the companion. I don't think Luke would be the companion. But I think he would be there. If you remember, in Kingdom Hearts 1, you absolutely see like Squall, but he goes as Leon, right? In there. So I feel like you would see him in the same way that you see Squall. Final Fantasy VIII. Because if the companion shtick is coming back, it'll replace Goofy. Well, you could, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I played, but you could choose who you replace. And in fact, you didn't have to replace anyone, if I remember correctly. Ewok companion? No, you know what? I feel like it would be like an Ewok summon. Human! Did you kill all sandworm? I see you have strange item. Please give me. The residue. Gone. Strange item. Very good for Maroon Tree. Putting in earth helps to grow. Wait, so I guess that stuff was dung? Good thing we got rid of it. Human! Please, hand me pass. I make note for Eldris. You can now go and get shiny orb. Thanks a lot for help. Bye, human. Bonjour. Gotcha. Little runaways. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. We're gonna switch over to my be right back screen. back. We got, ooh, Monster Sanctuary soundtrack going. Unfortunately, that's gone now. Let's see. Kingdom Hearts 4 might see Sora on his own for the first time in the series. Really? Has to do with the ending of 3. Again, I didn't even... No, don't spoil it. I didn't play it. I don't own the game. I don't have any current plans to play the game. But I really enjoyed Kingdom Hearts 1, and it's one of those things where, like, I may want to actually play it one day. I may want to. Maybe we'll do it on stream. I have 2. We could play through 2 and go from there. So, check it out. Wearing a pretty sweet Destiny shirt. Yeah, sweet Destiny shirt. Figured it's cool to show it off amid all the current drama that's going off with their most recent expansion, right? Let's see. Is there? I don't know. So I have the original on the PlayStation 2. And I have 2 on the PlayStation 2. And then I have a few of the, like, DS games. But then I purchased, I don't remember if it's a PS3 or if it's a PS4 game. I can't remember, but I purchased the collection that had 1 and 2, and it had the DS games as, like, a video that you could watch to get the story. And so I replayed through that game again on the hardest difficulty, the first one, which was a lot of fun, honestly. I was doing it for 2 reasons. So there's 2 trophies in Kingdom Hearts 1. One for beating the game on hardest difficulty, and another one for never using a continue. Which means if you die, you have to reload instead of hitting continue, which makes a big difference. And that was a lot of fun to do, and it was actually fairly difficult, especially at the end. The end was very difficult in that mode. I don't know if I would want to play it like that, I don't know if I'd want to play 2 like that without ever having beaten it on the hardest difficulty, but it was a lot of fun for 1. Hi, Emily. It's nice to finally meet you. Nice to meet you too. And again, I'm sorry we didn't wait for you. No, really, it's fine. We never made any plans anyway. And I can understand why you'd play ahead. I've been offline for quite some time. It's just that I really had to wrap up everything for that project. Blacker. Right, there's 1, Chain of Memories, 2, Dream Drop Distance. That name is so ridiculous, but I like it. 3, then finally Melody of Memory. Which serves as a bridge into 4, okay. There's 1 fraction title, so the fraction title is the one I have, I think. It's like 2.5 or something like that. No, there's two fraction titles, because there's like one that's like, we could just Google this, and I'm not going to, but there's one that I feel like is like Kingdom Hearts half something something, and then there's the one that I bought, which had the bundle, which I think was Kingdom Hearts 2.5 something, and that had 1, 2, and then a bunch of the other stuff is just cutscenes. Pretty sure. But I'm not an expert in Kingdom Hearts lore. I know the first game pretty well. That's about it. It's just that I really had to wrap up everything for that project. Gosh, studies keeping you busy, huh? Oui, and you don't even know half the story yet. Isn't that right, Leah? Anyway, work is over now, and I've got plenty of free time. I'm so ready. I'll try my best to beat that cave as quickly as possible. No rush. I suggest we meet in Baki Kum in front of the quest hub once you're done. Sound good? Très bien. See you soon. Bye. What'd you have for dinner, or what are you having now for dinner, Astro? Oh yeah, 358 divided by 2 days. Yes, that is the fractional title for sure. Wow, she sure is full of energy. Yeah. Anyway, there's no reason to hurry, but I guess we can slowly head back to Baki Kum, right? Let's go then. So we could slowly head there. We could teleport there, I guess. I guess the real question is, are there any like other quests? There's clearly a path right here that we haven't been able to go through as well. Are there any other quests that we needed to get? Let's take a peek at our quest log just to make sure. Must get to the lair and use an explosive helper to get it back. So here's the thing, if we go do side quests, any sort of side quest right now, we won't have Emily, but if we go back to town, we might get Emily right away. Let's go back to town. Ginger pork, garlic, cabbage, and rice. That sounds delicious. Here we are. Seems like Emily is still busy with the Maroon Tree Cave. Well, I guess I'll have a look around the market. Feel free to join me. Ah! Are we making that face because he's so much taller than us? Oh, it's you. Are you looking for my friend? He's not here. I plan to meet him soon, though. I forget now. Was this one of the guys who we saw in the basement who was making plans to somehow, like, scam players? It may have been. I heard you've been dueling him? Oh, wait. This is Grasshead's friend. What did Melody of Memory come out on? I don't remember that name at all. And you even managed to defeat him. He was impressed. Anyways, he talks a lot about you. Almost makes me jealous. A girl of few words, aren't you? It looks like you don't appreciate his attention. What can I say? That's just him. Always obsessed with strangers, especially spheromancers. So you'd rather avoid him, right? Better leave then before he runs into you. Bye. We're gonna like run straight into him. Ah, there you are. I was just browsing consumables. It's kind of funny how they decorate it with all those fruits you actually can't buy, isn't it? Are we about to see him over here? It's the most recent on Switch. Featured an unlockable song in the final Smash DLC. Really? I know nothing about Melody of Memory then. I don't even know if I've heard of it, honestly. Oh, that reminds me. I heard you can still count with your fingers, right? Pretty much. It's actually quite amazing how precisely they managed to synchronize your dexterity. That means you can move your fingers as much as you could in real life. Want to give it a try? Try this. Now this. And now this. Oh, can I do that one? Okay, so we can get the first finger. I cannot get my pinky to go around. Not happening. Now, I can do it the other way though. I just can't have my pinky go over. It can go under though. Yeah, that one isn't for everybody. Sure wasn't. Anyway, since you can mimic things with your hands, maybe sign language would be an option for communication. Well, I guess it'd be a bother to learn it. Also, I guess most other players don't know sign language either. We really wouldn't have this problem if they'd simply support text-based communication. But they removed it all because of immersion. Hey, Palmer, here's your immersion break. People have complained about this before. I did it! I defeated that red worm, finally! Look at her face. Congratulations. But man, those worms were annoying. So hard to punch. I guess projectiles would have been more feasible. I'm a pentafist, Nun. What do you think my fists are for? Well, Anyway, I'll head back to Baki Kum now. See you soon. Bye. Okie dokie. Let's go back to the quest hub then. Or maybe we stay over here in the corner. Is something the matter, Leah? Anyway, let's just go, okay? You don't think that you would play an MMO that didn't support text communication. You know, it's funny. It is funny, right? Even today, most MMOs, I say most, maybe all MMOs, don't really support voice communication. There are certainly games that support voice communication, but I don't know that I would consider them MMOs. And most people who play MMOs, seriously, in the end game, they use, like, you know, old school days like Ventrio or whatever. Ventrilo, if you will. But now we use Discord. Blue-haired Spheromancer! Here comes the point. He's up there! So we meet again. Uh-oh, do I have to duel him right now? I don't know if I'm ready to duel him. Sorry, he spotted you as you left. Hello, I'm Citron. I suppose you know each other. I see you found yourself another party member, Spheromancer. WoW does for sure, although that didn't do the group a lot of good when Roy Jenkins charged headfirst. No, but I don't think WoW did. I'm pretty sure that they were using especially when Leroy Jenkins thing happened, they were using a third-party tool for that. Also, if you don't know, it certainly was not knowledge at the time, but if you didn't know, that whole video with the whole Leroy Jenkins thing was actually planned. They planned it. It was a guild recruitment tool, and they didn't necessarily intend to make a viral video, but they intended to make something that they thought people would think was funny. And then the guy who was Leroy Jenkins, he ended up not being able to play anymore on that character because everyone like would come up to him and he couldn't be himself. Like, he couldn't play because everyone knew about Leroy Jenkins and they wanted to talk to him, and he was the bad guy in the video, so people didn't really like him. So I don't know if he eventually like made a different character or if he just stopped playing entirely, but... Oh, the Blizzard games do have voice chat now through the Battle.net launcher. They certainly didn't way back then. And I'm not a huge Blizzard person, although I'm sure I'll be playing Diablo 4 when it comes out. Leroy's your patron deity. Leah. Anyway, I'm glad to see you progress this far into the game. It is due time to put your skills to another test. This is actually really bad. I thought he was pretty easy the first time. I don't remember how many, like, rounds we had to do, but I only lost one, and it was, like, towards the end, like round 4 or something. And then I remember someone coming in chat, and they were like, wow, he beat him on their first try, or something like that. Which made it sound like he was supposed to be hard to fight. And now, here we are, like 2 weeks later, I haven't played, so I'm going to certainly be rusty. Fighting him, I'm a little afraid about it. It may have been 5 rounds. Blue-haired girl. Blue-haired Spheromancer, I mean. I challenge you to another duel. Leah. Here I am. Oh no, it's Monsieur Grasshead. Do you accept Spheromancer? Leah. Oh, is it another duel? Come on, Leah. His derriere deserves another beating. What is it? You seem less eager this time. Do you accept Spheromancer? Leah! Seriously, this is stupid. Use her name already. This guy seems like the Shadow the Hedgehog of CrossCode. Maybe a little. Maybe a little. Is this important to you? Well then, accept the duel. If you earn my respect, I might call you by your name. Guy's such a jerk. Do you accept? Good. Let's meet in front of Fajro Temple. I'll be expecting you. Make sure to be well prepared. See you soon, Spheromancer. Bye. Oh, bother. Sometimes I wonder why I keep up with that oddball. You're around. I'm confused. Who was that? Oh, he's some kind of self-proclaimed justice guy. Thinks really highly of Spheromancers. Leah kicked his derriere. I see, what a unique character. Oui, he's an idiot. Anyway, it's time for a party of 3. Emily joined your party. Let's wrap up that quest already so we can finally go to Fajro Temple. It's so funny, we just get like the party together. Now we're a 3-person party and the temple's gonna be a solo thing. Agreed. I guess next we should report to the elders, right? I do think so, Monsieur. Trani? Doesn't like Trani, I'm sure of it. I also don't like Trani. We have one more quest to pick up too in the market. Great hate. Alright, we'll have to try to grab that on our way out here. Dear human, did you defeat pesky sandworms below Maroon Tree? Indeed, I see note on pass. Thank you so much, human. Because of your help, Tree will live many more years. Now I'll hand you shiny thing for reward. Human now can go to Mystic Statue at Market to receive key to Fajro Temple. Shiny orb. Thank you, human. See if she says. Nope. You have to thank the sandworms for helping us keep good diplomatic relations with the Shad. Why? Why did he jump in to say that? As far as I'm aware, the Shad are not real. They are AIs. And he should know that. He's not even playing. Weird. Yeah, we didn't really fully explore this town at all. So I have no idea where that quest might be. Wow, the bird guy wasn't lying. That's one big bizarre, none? Shad tried to trade as much as they can. Sometimes they do over-promote, I guess. Oh, this might be our quest. What is it, Seeker? Can't you see I'm busy keeping order in this unruly place? Shad merchants being robbed? Is that the story of the day again? That is completely impossible. Not on my watch anyway, and it's always my watch during business hours. Guy's got like the full Fu Manchu going. Listen, Seeker, I know your kind always searches for grand adventures and villains to slay, but this is just some village ploy by them shady scaleskins to cash in on compensations. Okay, so this dude's a racist, we got it. Anyway, there is watch to keep. Don't waste my time unless you can present some solid proof. Talk to the other guard and resident. I don't even know if we talked to all of these people and got their like recipes added to our book. Ah, Seeker, you are greeted. Much pleasing is felt from heroic presence. Much useful wisdom could be learned from communication. I dare proclaim with greatest certainty. He's got like the extra vocabulary that all of the other Shads are missing. But, as humans like saying, time is of the essential ingredient for early bird. That's a way to put that sentence together. There are only non-sentient alien life forms. Right, that's correct. So, it makes it even weirder, like, Sebastian, right? That's his name, the guy in our ear. He's like really getting into the lore of the game world, and we're not really here. We're not here. I don't know why he's with us, right? If we're to believe what he's told us, which maybe we shouldn't, but if we believe what he's told us, we're in a coma and we can't wake up. However, we can interface with the game, and when we interface with the game, we have some conscious capabilities. Clearly, we can't talk though, and that might be because we're in a coma. It might have nothing to do with the technology. Although, it seems like it is a technology thing because he's programming in extra words for us. But why is he getting so into the lore? Because, let's pretend he's a doctor. If he's a doctor trying something out in order to interface with us, didn't really care about the lore. In fact, he should be talking to us a lot more often, saying things like, honestly, I don't know, like doing like word problems and like trying to like exercise the mind and try to memorize things and like come back the next day and do you remember what we talked about the day before? So I don't think he's a doctor. But I feel like we're here for a different reason, and that reason might be to unlock our memories. But again, I kind of feel like unlocking our memories is for someone else's benefit, not for our own. Sebastian doesn't feel like a bad guy. But would I be surprised if he turns out to be a bad guy? I don't think so. To honor clever statement, let us swiftly slice core of problem at our hand. Transport with important content is long expected to arrive from Bergen Village. It has not. Content very precious and important. Desert dangerous, human following. Excellent! Concluding, you, strong seeker, find transport and help it reach us. Then get reward, yes? Please? Search for the shad transport. You know what? We have a quest just like this for the first zone. We didn't ever find the person. That good decision, smart human. Wealth awaits the both of us. Search transport along main route from Bergen Village to Baki Kum. Should be guarded by 2 employees of generous Baki Bazaar, unless eaten by hungry desert life. If still alive, complain about delay, then help delivery to continue. If eaten, shame, but business must go on. Return for less convenient plan B. Okay. And then, like, clearly we're supposed to talk to the statue. We'll do it in a moment. Human Seeker! Do search for troublemaker on market. Hooray! Trade was hard. Trade was hard times with money and goods being stolen. I think they needed a comma. Was worried. Guards lose interest in case. Mustache guard, Mr. Fu Manchu. Very watchful, but he also speak much to rectangle. Yes, weird small rectangle he sometimes talk to. Seem much importance to him. Tangle? like a phone sort of situation? Oh, hey look. I bet these blocks are breakable with the ability we get out of the dungeon. Your prolonged journey brought you to this barren field. Surrounded by boundless sand, I shall hand you the shade of the same. It will open the passage to the Temple of Fajro. Traveler, envoy of change, your next trial awaits you. Yellow sand shade obtained. Okie dokie, got the sand shade. I wonder if we ever get to fight those huge space birds. I haven't heard of that yet. So this is your first time playing Crossworlds 2? Pretty much, but I know some people who've played longer. Oh, like the other guild members? No, not them. I don't know them personally. I just joined the First Scholars because they seemed like fun. I like that they're not all about the gameplay. It's funny how Hlyn, I thought her name was Hilda. Was that her real name? Did she tell us that? Hlyn tries to get the most out of the lore and all. I noticed that. Man, I can't wait to reach the level of Lucas and the others. Then we can do all kinds of guild events, raids, and all of that. Oh yes, that does sound like fun. Anyway, next is Fajro Temple. Also, that duel? Wee, that's right! You've got to beat your name into that guy's head already, Leah. I like how seamlessly Emily went from here all the way over there. Slid right across the screen. You should make sure you're well prepared. You know, solve some quests, upgrade your equipment, and all that. You heard him, let's go. Your party is unlocked. You're free to change your party as you please now. Nice. Nice, okay. So let's take a peek into the party window. See what we're looking at here. We're 27, Citron is only 24, and Emily is 25. They seem to have all right gear, though. That's good, right? That's good. Let's call some people. Hi! Allie, hello! So I heard you entered Maroon Valley. I see, enemies in that area can be a bit of a pain, if I remember correctly. Most of them should have a weak point that makes it easy to defeat them, though. And when it's still too hard, just remember to upgrade your equipment. That's all the advice I have for now. Good luck out there. Hi! Boo! That was worth doing. Yeah! Man, I love that prank. Absolutely everybody falls for it. Ow. That's a secret. Bye. Totally worth doing. Taking a peek at our equipment, the only thing that I felt like we could really upgrade was our vest at this point. Let's look at the trader book. I don't think anything from Rookie Harbor is going to be worth it, but we can take a peek, right? Enough. So we're wearing the assault vest. Oh, we can't see stats from this window, though. That's a little unfortunate. Anything else is going to be much higher and probably not obtainable at the moment. Okay, moving on to the next. Yep, not in there. Baki-kun, what do we got here? So there's the desert vest from this green-looking dude. Maybe we go check that out and see if we can buy it. Then there's a couple places in the middle. Maroon Valley. Things, 2 desert vests. Someone there as well. Hey, actually, let's check. Frozen Tear, Palm Apple Seed, Cactone Fruit, Squishy Teeth. Ugh, Squishy Teeth. Let's go back and check the desert vest here. It is the same stuff. It's good to know. Really good to know. And that's about it. Gotta get those rookie numbers up. I mean, it is still a good piece, even if it's not the best. Is this the green person right here? Are we already over here? Oh, this is totally different stuff. Nomadic Turban, level 28. Scope legwork, but we lose the experience bonus. Let's stay with what we got. Wow, 88 extra life. Oh, okay, look, now we found a new one. Assassin Garb. 130 additional life. Attack goes down. Why would the attack go down on Assassin Garb? But we get defense, we get a lot of focus. Our scope would go back up to 0, which is great. We would get Brawler. Let's actually take a look at this stuff real quick. Increase damage by close combat attacks, which we do mostly, I feel like. Critical damage up, but we lose the additional projectile. I don't think we care. I want to get this Assassin Garb. That's what I want to do. We need 1 additional Poison Stinger. Magic Robe. Hold on. Maybe there's better stuff. that's true. Sneak attack. You're right. So like crit's good for that. You're right. You're right. Magic robe. What do we get off of it? We get a lot of life. We get a lot of resistances. Scope is the same, right? We'd get 25% back. Yeah, we would lose our assault from our current body, but we'd gain balance. Oh, which I do like balance. Status mend. Increase recovery speed from negative status conditions. I don't feel like it's critical to have that status mend. I really like the 18 focus we get, honestly. But this has a lot of life. And then what is the third one? Crystal plate. We compare it. Defense goes up immensely. We also get pin body. But we're going to do less damage. We would also lose that flash step. Actually, we wouldn't lose flash step, but we'd get negative flash step, which is bad. We're going to get hit more often. But we also get iron stance, but it's only 2%. Feels like not very much. Also, we don't have anywhere near the stuff to buy it. However, the assassin garb we do. One additional poison stinger is all we need. All we really have to do is understand how to get one more poison stinger. Which we'll talk to all the trade people in here and make sure we can't buy it. I have nothing to offer, human, yet. Return later once ancients have given you more blessing. Interesting. Dry fin, drillstone, and phoenix feather. Wait, drillstone? And then this guy had the desert vest, which is palm apple seeds. It's not bad stats compared to the assassin garb, but we get shooter and we get some flash step. Actually, I think I like the assassin garb better, honestly. Yeah, I will check the monster book. These carvings, they're so intricate. Yup, the secrets of the ancients right here in front of us. I guess so. Each hieroglyph, each indentation. I could spend hours on them. Oh goodness, I don't know which one to examine first. You know there are probably even more of these at Fajro Temple. You're right, we should go there. Oh, right after I'm finished with this pillar. The monster figure. Okay, his name is Apollo. Oh, this is kind of neat that we can actually come in here and see like bosses and stuff. This is really the first time we've honestly been in here and looked at this. Fang King Dakara. Alright, let's go all the way to the bottom. Poison Stinger. Oh, but that's a boss pincer, but the Pinceron also drops the Poison Stinger. The boss one is a 20% chance, and the other one is 16. Although the boss pincer isn't literally a boss monster, and we saw a bunch of them. I just don't remember where we saw. Another thing I'm noticing right now for the first time is it tells us here, if we want the Poison Stinger, we only have to be at rank D. Nice to know. Oh, I also didn't know that this was a thing. Defeat more boss pincers to unlock this page. Okay, why is this one yellow? Oh, Tim is a boss. Okay. Cool. So now we just gotta go find boss pincers. Sure, let's go do that. Find those boss pincers. Level up. I'm imagining... I'm trying to remember where we saw like higher level enemies at. I don't think they would be up here, honestly. I feel like they would be down off the beaten path, which could be down in this way. Let's go to like, go here and then go southwest. I hit that guy on accident, or I started the fight on accident. I forgot how annoying the sharks were to fight. Ugh. break it for me. You're pretty into fighting, aren't you? Sort of. I feel like we avoid just as many fights as we purposely take. You're right, they did say that they have a trick. Hey, Burger, how's it going? Yeah, I agree with you. The mobs that you have to wait for in order to do something are certainly not my favorite. You know, also, I didn't forget about this. I did remember. I didn't remember exactly where it was. I thought it was down here. But that thing down there needs a coin, is what it said it was looking for. Have to keep an eye out for a coin. Do you guys happen to remember where we saw the scorpions at? Specifically the boss scorpions. Also, we got the thing that unlocks the Bajro Temple, right? And now I'm interested to see, is that the coin? Because it was some kind of sphere object, I thought. We just gotta get all the way over there just to double check. It's probably not. It probably isn't, but we're gonna check anyways. Bring me the coin. Maybe we get it in the temple. The normal scorpions were absolutely near the beginning. I was hoping to go for the other ones. The boss scorpions. But I don't quite remember where we saw them at. So I guess at this rate it would be a lot faster to just go kill normal ones, since we probably know where to find them. You sure you want to comment on those now? Better concentrate on jumping. The solid scorpions? Yeah, they were, I feel they had to have been making a Metal Gear Solid reference, right? Had to have been. Let's just hope we don't run into liquid scorpions. Oh, and there's our perfectly regular cactus. Oh, you know what? We never marked it. Let's mark it. I feel like it's about right here. Question mark? Yeah, let's put the unknown thing on it. Those are not scorpions. It just jumped off. Are those sharks skeletons? That's funny. Sharks don't even have proper bones. It's all cartilage. Have I told you I like Citron? I think he's quite funny. Yeah, we're gonna go south if I can remember how to get down there. Still no scorpions. None to be found. I guess we're probably gonna... Oh, there's normal ones. Alright, let's kill them. Yeah, of course you can't have a desert without scorpions. They was commenting on how many legs they have to see if they're actually scorpions. I love it. Dealer choice? I honestly have no idea what those are supposed to be. Earth digging tortoise? It's unfortunate that Emily has stopped commenting on the laser bridges. Oh, this is the one quest though. Use the cat for something. Let's information and manual. Thank you for deciding to use the cat for. That's supposed to be like per. PU-17. The ideal choice for mining, demolition, pest control, and passionate festivities. Passionate festivities? This highly advanced machine is programmed to follow its user after activation and dispenses explosive devices, also known as bombs, after being hit with a charged ranged attack. When reloading and generally not dispensing bombs, it will try to evade the movements of its user with highly refined movement algorithm. It can be manually deactivated again at this console, or it will automatically return to the idle state when the user leaves the space of operation. For example, a cave. Catapult. Yeah, no, you're right. I should have seen it. It was 1-7. I should have seen it. You're right. I might want the location. Warning. Keep stored in dry and cool locations. Should only be used by trained professionals. Keep far away from children and dogs. Activate the catapult. Okay. I clearly didn't understand what was supposed to happen here. God. I need fire, don't I? So confused now. I have to reactivate it again? Okay. Here we go. Fractured path, torn road, great scar, west entrance. Okay. We'll go back and check them out. Reloading bomb. Hiding intensified. Blew my thing up. Break. Whoa, that thing threw a bomb at us. I'm guessing one of the other guys hit it with a ranged attack. Oh, come on. Don't blow up on me, please. Oh, we got hit. Ever since you finished Pokemon Violet, you regret deciding to hold off on a repeated playthrough? Really? You're like itching to go back into that world so soon? I'm still gonna play it one of these days. I'm probably gonna wait for the DLC, honestly. The chest was a lie! Who would have thought? Oh, fine. Hold on. Can we possibly get it to come out? No. Give me the bomb. Thank you. New bomb, please. Yeah, this is one of those mechanics where like you have to just wait, and it is kind of a pain. Do me up. Thought that fire was gonna get me to blow up. I was gonna try to do... Man, you gotta hit it at the same exact time. There we go. Left the bomb. I was hoping it would try to blow it up and like get it out. Didn't quite work like these bombs do. It was very hectic, but honestly, I never felt like we were gonna die. Nothing felt super crazy damaging. Aged Travel Guide. Let's see, report back, okay. So the other thing too, before we do the duel, right, we're gonna get the new armor, and then we're gonna spend our CP as well. And, looking at the map, Fractured Path and Torn Road. This one's Torn Road. Great Scar, West Entrance, Windless Caverns. I guess, like, man, all of the top places. We'll just warp here and look around. Maybe I didn't want to warp here exactly. Okay. I thought those were the guys coming in to challenge me to a duel. There we go. Here's two of the scorpions. Let's actually start on this dude so we can build our abilities a little bit. When I mean our abilities, I mean our rank. Let's build that up. Must be inspired by vultures. You think? Okay, we got C. Ronnie, you like to keep your distance in battle, don't you? Well, I would hope so. He's a mage. Honestly, I should have killed these guys first to build our rank. That was a mistake. Yeah, we're on a roll. Oh, did they get the other one too? They did. Rank B. Also, let me know if I get a drop, because I guess I'm not paying attention. I'm looking at the enemies. They say smaller scorpions are more dangerous. Doesn't quite apply to these. Some up there too. Yeah, if we're specifically like looking for something, it's probably usually worth it. Especially if we've been there before. And like part of the problem of why I didn't know where to go is because I just didn't remember. Had we decided to do this like the same day or directly after the last time we played, I probably would have remembered where they were at. There's a poison stinger. We got at least one. Now we can go into town. I mean, I know we're right next to town, but we're just gonna warp there anyways. Yes. I did miss that message, Astro. I see it up there now. I did miss it though. Hi, hey Seeker, can I help you with anything? Leah? Are you here because of those criminal activities here on the market? I see, so the sergeant, I almost said serpent, is finally losing his patience. I can't blame him. Listen, I want this to be solved as much as he does. The Shad are an honest and trusting folk. They don't deserve this. It always happens without any one of us or the traders noticing. We're completely at a loss. Honestly, one would think that at least Bilston would notice something, that crazy workaholic. But no, the stuff seems to just vanish without any trace. Unbelievable. Elite Dangerous is like that? A literal galaxy-sized playing field and a very little in-game tools. Many third-party tools to help you find. Yeah, you know, I noticed you've been playing that. I've never played that game. Is it a good time? You chose not to replay Violet until the DLC releases, since that's what wore you out on Sword. Yeah. But the first DLC's earliest release is fall of this year. It's a little ways away then, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, how many hours did you put into it the first time you played it? Human asking about crime on market? It's big problem. Goods and money vanishing from market stand. We Shad busy selling quality crafts for fair price to happy customers. So no notice. But Bearded Guard, he care very much, always visiting, asking about money, food breaks, and giving hints for safety. Still, things get stolen. He very disappointed and sad, I fear. Yeah, the guard seems suspicious. Search the market with your analysis tool. Sure. Is this telling us... Hold on, is that the normal trader symbol? It probably is. Okay. Possible hint? Hey, Seeker, hands off that vase. Stealing is prohibited, even for the fancy likes of you. Bilston's calm. Where are we going? You play hardcore for a week or so, and then get tired of the gameplay. You picked it up a few months later to do a bit more, lather in some free. So you're in and out, in and out. Every day in real life is a day in game, so things progress slowly. That's interesting. Does that mean, though? Does that mean that they have like a story that is literally progressing through real time, but literal days? Meaning that if I wanted to start that game tomorrow, I'm gonna have missed a bunch? That's kind of unfortunate, and that would sort of alienate new players, right? Yes, hello, I'm here. Is that you, boss? Hi. You sound weird today, boss. Please don't get angry again. I am still laying low at the solar farm, just as you said. Everything is all right, yes? Hello, boss? Did anything go wrong? Bye. Aha, we know where to go, the solar farm. Which we will go to right after we buy our body piece. Assassin's Garb! That last poison stinger was the only one we got. And trade. Assault vest becomes assassin garb. Nice. Nice. So our player level is 28, our equip level is only 26, which, I mean, I think is fine. Like, we have, like, the yellows, which are the higher quality or higher tier, or higher rarity, whatever you want to call them. So I would imagine they're better even at a lower level than something that was higher. What we got going on in this place? Oh, a seeker wants to talk to me? I am sorry, but I don't think we got any business right now. Ah, don't give me that face. I'm sure we can talk later. Probably after we do the dungeon. So, interesting, right? I see that this thing over here is glowing, but we can't, like, target it. Log entry 001 unlocked. Let's see if we can find it. Probably in general? Let's go down to the bottom. Yeah, log entry 001. Log entry. Expedition to Sector SOS-03. Tomorrow is the day the ACF sends us out for another big expedition to one of the SOS sectors. Apparently, it's old war territory. I don't know what they want us to find there, but scrap metal and drained stones. I don't think that sentence is constructed correctly, because then it says, but again. But whatever pays the bill, right? The official task is to chart the sector and scan planets when possible. Standard ACF exploration. So, what's interesting, right? These log entries, I'm gathering these are left by real people who were here before the game was set up. There is a storyline that's taking literal years to get to, and so yeah, if you start today, you get thrown into whatever's happening with little info. A lot of lore reading. That's a little unfortunate, right? And that's, as I showed off with the Destiny shirt, right? That's the problem with the Destiny expansion. And everything that's going on with Destiny is they have all the story that's happening, but if you didn't play it since the beginning, you can't experience it, which is really unfortunate, especially for someone who wants to experience it. They really should have done something in Destiny, and maybe in Elite Dangerous. I don't know as much about Elite Dangerous, so it's hard to say, but like where you could have some sort of like instanced playthrough past content or something to like experience it, not just read it. Ultimately, unless you really like space games, it's not a great buy. Don't know what they want us to find, but stones, comma. Yes. But whatever pays, right. There needs to be like that space. like two like different sentences really colliding there. Space games. I do like space games, but I don't play a ton of them, honestly. But Star Citizen is a game that I would like to play, but the problem with Star Citizen, in my view of it, right, is Star Citizen looks fun. It doesn't look like a complete game at all. It looks like it has a lot of like really good ideas put into it, maybe some less than ideal execution. Every time I watch someone play it on stream, they're always working around bugs, and the bugs that they work around are not the same bugs they worked around the last time they played. And it's always weird stuff like, oh yeah, no, that'll work. You just have to take your armor off and then do something and put your armor back on, and then it works. And it's like weird stuff like that, right? So they've got some interesting things going there. However, a lot of the gameplay mechanics look fun, like flying ships and stuff. My real hang-up with that game is I feel like it would not be fun to play solo. It seems to me like it's a game that's more of a sandbox and a make-your-own sort of adventure, content, and amusement. And I feel like in order to really do that in a good way, you either have to be, like, you could do it solo on stream, playing with people, even though they're not there with you, right? I feel like that could be done, but I'm really thinking if you had multiple people to play co-op and do things co-op and like ride in the same ships, and like one person mans the turret while the other person's flying or something, right? I feel like you really need that, and I just don't have anyone who wants to play it, so I've never jumped into it. It also seems like it's a big time sink too, which is, you know, neither here or there. Space games I did play a chunk of. You ever play Evilcron Mercenary? Or there's other Evilcron games as well. I thought those were quite a bit of fun. And then less realistic space-ish games, I've put a ton of time into No Man's Sky. In fact, the most recent expedition, I have it on PlayStation, and I still haven't figured out a real good way to stream from the PlayStation without moving it to my computer, and I don't want to do that. But I almost did the most recent expedition on stream. I decided not to even play it though. DC Universe Online has a similar problem where their latest major update to the main story of the game severely gutted the core experience of the game. Really? Yeah, that's unfortunate. When you say it gutted the core experience, is it a story thing? Like they undid story elements or just totally removed story beats? Or is it like the actual gameplay has differed? Because when I read that, the very first thing that popped in my mind was Star Wars Galaxies. Right? And then if you played Star Wars Galaxies, you know, in the beginning it was one game, and then the big update came out, and then it was a different game entirely almost after that, and people ended up not liking it. Speaking of like older MMOs and stuff like Star Wars Galaxy, we could, I've thought about this a lot. I mean, just to do personally, but like maybe on stream even, to find private servers and like play through a little bit, you know, do a couple streams or something on it. I've always wanted to play those games again. You never get the same sort of experience with them as you would have when they first came out, but they're still technically out there on private servers. No Man's Sky is like cartoonily dangerous? Then I would probably like it. All right. What are we doing now? We need to level up or buy new skills. And we need to go find the guy. Let's go find the dude who's in the solar farm first. And the way that they were speaking, I thought it was probably a shad, but it might not have been. Anything wrong? I'm just sitting here. Hi. Crimes in the bazaar? We didn't say anything like that. What are you talking about? I don't know anything. So it was you on the communicator? Damn that, Bilston. I thought someone as ruthless as him would at least be more careful. He roped me into this. I swear, I told me all about all the money, threatened me if I refused all that. No one will care about it, he said. Those scaly idiots don't know how to handle the money anyway. So much for that. Oh, you wish they followed through with the Anthem reboot? You know, when the Anthem trailer first dropped, I was like, this game looks amazing, right? And then the game came out. And you know what though? I feel like they had the base. They had a base. Had they invested the time and money into it, which is a really big ask coming from, right, EA. Wasn't it EA? I'm pretty sure Anthem was EA. But it's a really big ask for a big studio to like continue to deliver. We want to talk about that. We can talk about SimCity as well. But I feel like Anthem had the base. It just wasn't finished. It didn't have enough content, enough story. But like the gameplay mechanics themselves, good. They weren't bad. And in fact, you could still have like worked on it and refined it more. They pulled the No Man's Sky in Anthem and just kept working on it. It could be a great game today. Could have been, right? I don't think they needed to do a reboot. I don't think they needed to do a sequel. I think they just needed to keep working on it. I would have been alright with that anyways. Speaking of EA and not like pushing through to like make a game good, SimCity. That game came out what? It was SimCity 5, but they just called it SimCity. It was like 2013 or something around there. 2011 maybe? I can't really remember. But that game, I've loved all the SimCities except that game. I was so hyped for it, and I remember this. Like, the game came out, and it was inherently broken. They put this in, and I was really happy they put multiplayer in. Really happy they did. In fact, I even played the game multiplayer with a friend. But the fact that you had to be online was a big downside, because not only did you have to be online, they literally hosted a lot of the game like data on their servers, which meant if you even wanted to play solo, which there were some like modders and whatnot who I think eventually got that to work, but it meant that if you wanted to play solo, you couldn't, because the game didn't even know how to store data on your, because it was all going back and forth to the server, and that's where they hosted everything. But they didn't spin up enough infrastructure, so like you would log in, and then you'd get booted out before you could even play, or you wouldn't be able to log in, or you'd get logged in, but then you'd have a terrible like weird connection and stuff would happen or whatever. It was just like this terrible like intro to the game, and it honestly is probably what killed it. But then, let's say a month later, when 90% of the population stopped playing it, because I did play the game with a friend, they made some really bad choices, and the bad choices, honestly, I think were around the multiplayer element, which is unfortunate. But they made it so your world, your city, but like let's pretend this was the SimCity. Try to get in picture. This is the map size for SimCity 4. Your map size for SimCity 5 was like this, which meant you couldn't have all the infrastructure. You couldn't have a hospital system and a fire station, and you couldn't have a university, and you couldn't have a business district, and you couldn't have the casino, and you couldn't have the residential district. No. What did you have to do instead? You had to build one of those things specifically, and then trade, like set up trade routes and stuff with other people's cities, which was an interesting concept, but didn't work well. It just didn't work well. And the base of the game was there though, right? And they could have, had they decided to put more time and money into it, they could have, I'm certain, they could have modified that game to been what SimCity 4 was, but newer and better. Expand the map sizes, and I'm sure there were probably limitations around the map size because they were actually emulating a lot of different things, like people in the city that they hadn't done in previous games. But had they been able to do that and let you actually build a solo single-player world, they could have made the game good. Instead, they decided to port it to a phone, you know, reuse assets and make a new phone game and make it monetized with microtransactions, which is totally what EA does. Also, that's, I think, when Maxis was finally dissolved, which is very unfortunate because Maxis was a great company. Yes, Anthem was like Destiny, right? You'd have all these events going on and you could go off and do them, but the world was empty. It was 4 players instead of like the borderline MMO like Destiny. Yeah. But even though Destiny has that borderline MMO feel to it, I do feel like the maps and the content in that game, even if it was just you and your party members, would have been fine. I feel like that's fine in Destiny, but I think the way that it was done in Anthem made it just feel empty, whereas Destiny didn't feel empty. Unless you were with your friends, you'd see an event start, and the people in your instance would be across the map, and then they couldn't join you for the event before it ended. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So I didn't I was really excited for Anthem, and then I didn't really play it at all, so I don't really have much experience in it. So you being able to like shed some more of the details on Anthem's great, Astro. I love it. Yeah, that's not something. I guess that's technically not something you could fix with casual patching. But like if because we're saying like if they pulled the No Man's Sky experience, No Man's Sky did not do casual patching. like legitimately, their game was unfinished. They did not do casual patching. They, you know, I really like No Man's Sky, but they lied about the game. In fact, I think what happened was they promised. I think they were talking about the game and what they wanted to be in No Man's Sky, and part of that meant that because they had said it out loud that they were promising that's what was going to be in the game, like multiplayer in No Man's Sky. And then it turned out, well, they couldn't finish any of that on time because their studio wasn't that big. They didn't have a lot of help. They had deadlines from PlayStation, Sony, and so eventually the game released, and it was, honestly, I still thought it was a fun game at release. I did, but it was absolutely missing a lot of the things that they had talked about, and almost all of those things, maybe all of those things, are actually in the game today. And like, had Anthem kept working on it, not through small patches, through like legit, like, hey, we're doing a ton more, I feel like it could have been a good game. But again, it's an investment, and EA is not going to make that investment. If it doesn't sell up front, they're done with it. And actually, it's really sad because I kind of feel like Square Enix is kind of that way today as well, where like if something isn't the critical success that they thought it was, even if it made money, they're like, failure, wash their hands of it, and then like they don't even look at it again, which is really unfortunate for a lot of different game IPs and whatnot. Bomber, that is not a personal opinion. It is just an objective fact that EA kills games. Yes, labor of love on No Man's Sky. They made a castle out of what used to be sand. And I enjoyed playing in that sandbox, the original one. I did. But when you look at when you look at, what was it, the E3 announcement for No Man's Sky, which was 6 months maybe before the game actually came out. And I guess it wasn't the E3 announcement of like hey, this is a brand new game. It was, here's the game, you know, here's the release date sort of situation. They showed off things that legitimately weren't in the game, and that left a big sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. And there's a lot of people today who will not go back and try No Man's Sky because of that. I mean, like, they showed like giant dinosaurs and things that did not exist in the game at the time, that only slightly exist in the game today. What I really want to do for No Man's Sky is play it in VR. I've played it a ton. I've played lots of different like expeditions, and so I've done so many different saves. One thing I've never done is played it in VR, and I hear it's actually a lot of fun in VR. I don't have a VR headset or anything, so. You think Ubisoft falls into the biggest killer of games? You might be biased because they messed up your favorite franchise. Okay, hold on. Ubisoft favorite franchise. Well, obviously the big one is Assassin's Creed. Are you talking about Assassin's Creed, or are you talking about something smaller? wasn't Rayman Ubisoft? I'm just trying to think of like, now I'm trying to think of like random little stuff from Ubisoft that had series. If we're talking Assassin's Creed, I loved the first game, and not because it had the best like gameplay. In fact, I liked the gameplay of Assassin's Creed 1. It's nowhere near as good as, say, the follow-up games, but the story and the like mystery of what's going on was amazing in that game. And then in Assassin's Creed 2, they follow up with more of that, and they did a good job with that. And then after 2, they kind of like lost all of that. Something that there's a good chance I've never heard of. Well, now you gotta say what it is, Astro. Oh, Bomber, you're playing Elite Dangerous in VR? Oh no, you're not. Because then you gave your Vive or Vive or Vive, however you want to say it, friend. I think it's Vive. Might and Magic. Oh no, I've heard of Might and Magic. I'm gonna alt tab out of the game, real quick. I feel like, do I even have a Might and Magic game? I do. Wait, why do I have Dark Messiah of Might and Magic dedicated server in my tools? Now that's a little confusing. In fact, like we may have slightly talked about this before. There was a Might and Magic game, right? That came out on the Xbox 360, wasn't there? That was like, it was first person. Isn't that true? Either way, I haven't ever been super close to Might and Magic. And in fact, have they even released a new Might and Magic game in the last decade? Yeah, I think we did talk about it. It was months ago, I think. I really did like that 360 game. It came out after Oblivion, though, which hurt it a lot, because Oblivion had, I'm going to say, better gameplay. Sort of. It had different gameplay, but the gameplay felt smoother. That may have been Dark Messiah. Yeah, it may have been. You used to be big into VR, Bomber. Jumped on that bandwagon early. I would have loved to, but I just never could, because like every time I saw it, I'm like, oh yeah, VR, I can't wait for it. And then I'd see the games that they had, and I wasn't interested in them, so I didn't buy into it, even though I really, really wanted to play something in VR. Then Half-Life Alyx came out, right? And I'm like, man, I really, really want to play Half-Life Alyx, and I really want the Steam Index. But that's like $1,000. Like one game. And it's just, in my head, I cannot justify the cost. I mean, like, I essentially bought my Switch for Breath of the Wild, and then I didn't really touch the Switch again for quite a long time. So that was a really expensive Zelda game. But I guess I have played a few other things on my Switch since then. They released 10 in 2014 and Heroes of Might and Magic 7 in 2015. And like 1 or 2 weird spin-offs. Okay. Yeah, I'm not close enough to know like what. So I guess, what did Ubisoft do, or what didn't they do to make the game series like continue in how it was? Because I do know that the older Might and Magic games, people do look very fondly on them, and then the newer ones, I don't ever hear anything about. Yeah, the price of the tech in the games are still lackluster. I mean, I would play. There's Boneworks. I feel like the Boneworks game is supposed to be good as well. I would play Beat Saber, but again, Beat Saber's like I'll play it once or twice and then I'll never touch it again. So what else does that leave? I don't know. I did see an MMO that I don't remember the name of that is I don't know if it's only VR, but it's like VR first, and that looked really cool. And honestly, like if a big name MMO came out tomorrow with VR, that might be an instant purchase for me. But when I say a big name MMO, I don't know that I necessarily mean like, oh yeah, all of a sudden new EverQuest and it's VR. I don't know that I mean big name like that. I just mean like a big production. Speaking of space games, what's it called? Oh, it's like it's right there. The game that everyone calls Excel spreadsheet in space. From CCP. I don't know. I can't think of the name of that game. But some people had left CCP, right? And they created a new studio, and they have a new game, new MMO that they're coming out with called Axe Day. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but that is an MMO that currently has alpha sign up, and I'm interested. I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but I'm interested. In fact, since we're talking about that, give me one moment, and we're gonna watch the trailer. Called a social sandbox MMO. So come over here. Thank you. Let's watch this. The reveal trailer. That might be super loud. Let's go down. We're in HD. Perfect. Captured in engine, it says. If this is captured in engine, it's one of the best games I've ever seen. Just graphically. Like crazy lighting, crazy detail and shine on armor. They don't show any gameplay. It was clearly some kind of monster. They don't really even show it. It's got to be Unreal 5. It's got to be, honestly. Together we can build ourselves a home. So I read the description about this game. Supposedly, what world will you make? Let's go back. They call it a sandbox MMO. And why do they call it a sandbox MMO? Well, supposedly everything in the game is done by players, meaning all of these buildings would be built by players. All of the towns would be run by players. All of the stores would be done by players. All of the supplies to run the stores would be gathered by players. They're really feeling like they're trying to capture sort of an old school MMO vibe, like Star Wars Galaxy, where you could have a player who is high level in something like playing music at the bar, and they never go out and fight. They do that one thing and they do it well and they have fun doing it. You could do that in this game. You could literally probably just be a crafter in-game, in-world, and then that's it. It's an interesting idea. See, back to Might and Magic. 1 through 5 were grid-based party bobbers, released in the 80s, early 90s, and 6 through 9 were semi-open world party. 10 reverted back to the grid-based, but had some kind of weird issues. One of the problems was its autosave. Oh, save at really awkward points. That's unfortunate. Sometimes soft lock you into a fight. I'm sort of soft. I'll talk about that in a minute. Remind me if I forget about the soft lock story. It's unfortunate, save systems like that. Occasionally, you could aggro a boss that you couldn't beat, and then you'd be locked onto that floor because you can't leave when you aggroed them. That's very unfortunate. Achievement for getting the whole party to 40, but even if you abused XP boosting, the highest level you could get was 36. That's actually really funny. That's really funny. So anyways, PAX Day. Alpha sign up. I haven't actually done the alpha sign up, but I probably should. Playtest sign up. Do they have a Discord? Sorts of stuff. Got some lore. But they don't really show any gameplay. So we don't know what the gameplay is going to look like. It could be turn-based. Who knows? I don't really know. Also, will there be PvP? Will we have to worry about people trying to raid other people's towns to, like, steal their stuff? No idea. No idea. And will there be, like, designated locations where you can build and places where you can't? Will town spaces be instanced? We don't know anything like that yet. But I'm interested. I think this looks pretty neat. I think it looks neat. Well, time to come clean then, I suppose. At least I can bring down that jerk with me. My controller turned off. We've just been talking so long, guys. Some guy creates a wooden sword and it gets bought and sold for years and eventually levels up and slays demons. That's what you want in a game? That would be pretty neat. I imagine that's not the system, but I love that idea. I love the idea of having gear with the ability to, like, evolve sort of with a player or to be upgraded, something, right, to do what you just described. I imagine if we look at any sort of other game that's like this, yeah, you'd make that wooden sword, but it would always be a wooden sword and only good for level 1 to 2. Cheese mechanics from bosses are never fun. Yeah, or at least has, like, listed accolades. Yeah, that'd be pretty neat too. I have a, and I'm not gonna go into detail right now, but I have a weapon system that I've been tinkering with in my head now for quite some time that I feel like could be fun. It doesn't exactly do what you just brought up, Bummer, but I feel like it could be adjacent to that with, like, weapon parts and whatnot. Anyways, like I said, I'm not going to go into that. The game that soft-locked me, and it soft-locked me early on, and when I say early on, that's still like at hour 9 or something, Persona 5. Persona 5 Royal, to be specific, because Royal, I think, made the game easier and harder at the same time, which is an interesting thing. I have never played a Persona game before 5. I actually really liked what I played at 5, but I was playing on hard difficulty, and I could have lowered the difficulty. In fact, I did lower the difficulty. So let's keep going with the story. So I got to the first real, like, mega dungeon portion of the game, and I breezed through it. And the way that game works is it has a real-world time system. So every day you have so much time you can do things, and it's not like you have 10 minutes to play it a day. No, it's like every action you take takes so many hours off of the day, and then you have to end the day, and then you go to the next day. And that day system is very important for the gameplay of Persona, which you guys may know if you played it. If you don't, then I'm explaining it. And so anyways, I did the whole dungeon. You start the dungeon on one day, and they force you to leave the dungeon, and then I went back to the dungeon. I don't think it was the very next day. I went back to it, though, like 2 days later or something like that, and I literally cleared the whole dungeon and got to the boss, which I guess in the original Persona 5 was almost impossible to do because it was so much more difficult on, like, trash mobs. So I got to a save, and I saved it right before the boss, as you do when you're playing a game, but I didn't save it on a new save slot, and I guess maybe that's my fault. Well, and it's not really a true soft lock either. But what happened was I got to the boss, and I did the boss, and I did the boss, and I did the boss, and I kept losing and losing and losing. I eventually, I think, dropped the difficulty to easy, and I still couldn't beat the boss, which tells you something, that I shouldn't have been there at that point. and I think Royal screwed up the the progression of at least that first dungeon, if not more, of the game. And I couldn't possibly leave without doing the boss, because once you trigger the boss bit at the end, you have to do it, and the save took place after that trigger. So the only way that I could undo what I've done was literally to undo a bunch of game time. I mean, it was probably like 2 hours of playing, and I wasn't ready to do that. So I stopped playing, and it's really unfortunate because I really enjoyed what I played of that game. Again, it's on the PlayStation. If we ever do PlayStation streams, that might be a game we go back to, because I thought it was a lot of fun for what I played of it. Oh boy, we're bringing in Dragon Ball now. A lot of the game, I'm assuming when you say the game, you mean the newest Might and Magic game. It sort of retcons everything for throwbacks, sort of, like Dragon Ball Super. For example, there was a character you had to find in Might and Magic 6, except when you find him, he's already dead. But he's back in this game for no reason, even though it's a whole new world. That is kind of weird. So, is he like he or she, are they a major character that just are back now? Or is it like a sort of like random throwback Easter egg sort of thing? They're there, hi, and then you never see them again. If it's the latter, all right, whatever. If it's the former, eh. Yeah, Dragon Ball Super basically said all of Dragon Ball GT was non-canon, which is fine, I guess. I didn't think Dragon Ball GT was bad. It was definitely just different. In fact, I actually quite enjoyed Dragon Ball Super, but I know what you meant. I know what you mean. They definitely retconned some things and changed things up in a way that wouldn't have been the case for original Dragon Ball Z or even Dragon Ball itself, right? I am not caught up with like the manga or anything, so I've only watched the anime for Super. I don't know if there's anything more after that. I think there is. I just don't. I like that they brought Gohan back to be like, he's actually really strong. He hasn't been training, but he still is really strong. But then they didn't really do a whole lot with him. They still put it all on Goku and Vegeta, as they always do. Which is fine. I like Goku and Vegeta, but they had built up Gohan so much only to just basically forget about him. Controller's back on now, guys. Well, 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 where might you lot be going? Hi! I knew something was wrong once I noticed my communicator missing. You seekers are a sneaky lot, Forget it, man. You messed up. This is over. It is, right? Oh, for you it is. Me, though, I prepared something special, just for moments like this. You gonna throw a bomb at us? You never met that character in 6, but he was like the hero and trainer for the next king of the main city, and then he was one of the main playable characters in the Heroes games. Yeah, that's kind of weird, right? Gohan is stronger than Goku and Vegeta, so he doesn't have to work so hard. That makes for less interesting viewing. It does, right? But they've literally like thrown Gohan aside for the most part and been like, he's not going to train at all, which means he's pretty weak. Like, he can't really compete with them. He would have to train to actually be able to compete with them, unfortunately. Whoa! Battle coming! We haven't fought robot enemies in a long time. This will be the end of you, and no one will ever know the truth. Dude! Look where we are! This is madness! Silence! These expensive preparations won't go to waste, and I'm out of here! There's literally only a chain link fence, so anyone walking by would see all of this happen. Well, you know how to handle this, right? Good, so I'll just be hiding around that corner. Good luck. Out of sight, out of danger. Let's see. They have shields. They don't have any weaknesses. What about this one? That's the leader. I wonder if we kill the leader first, if that does something for us. Good. But I think I'm gonna try fighting the bottom guy first. Okay, so we got a shield. We can't do much. I bet we have to take out the leader to get the shields to go away. Oh, you know what? It said turret shield offline, so now we could take these guys out. Okay. Shields are still offline. Now they're back online. I'm gonna try doing a little bit of fire damage, see if that hurts more. I'm really not sure if I feel like it's doing more. Engaging assault mode. Weak. Oh, I didn't hit him that time. Magic missile. He can cast magic missile. Oh, we totally missed that. What did it drop? Bind metal. That's kind of lame. Well, that certainly was something, but leave it to a seeker to save the day, eh? Let's not forget that this guy was still stealing things. Anyway, time to go on our ways, right? Bye. Leon. What? After all we've been through, I was a victim as much as everyone here. All right. I will turn myself in. At least it's just across the street. And he bolts. Oh, maybe not. I'll see myself inside, so bye, Seeker. Sorry for the trouble, and thanks for not letting me die, I guess. Seeker, welcome back. We just had a troubled young man confess his crime. He certainly did bad things, but he came clean, so I don't think we need to punish him too much. The other things he said, though, it makes me sad that a bad egg like Bilston was just among us. I should have been more vigilant. Maybe this old man has become too soft with age. Ah, no. Old human is bestest of protector. Yes. Preserving great peace for shad and humans. True, mistake happened. That life. Shucks, you are too kind with this rusty soldier, but it is true we should just look forward. Thank you for your help, Seeker. Bilston is still at large, but his crimes should stop for now. I hope we can count on your help again, in case more trouble arises. Goodbye. Goodbye, Hero Seeker. Protect more justice. Bye. Solved. Nice. The biggest thing that bothered you in Super was why Master Roshi was chosen above Goten and Trunks for the tournament. I mean, Goten and Trunks should be a lot stronger than Master Roshi, right? They should be. I feel like they made the decision not to include them because they didn't think that they were, like, responsible enough. I guess I would also say they're not necessarily trained. I'm not saying that they don't do training, but they have a little experience. I feel like that's why they did it. I don't think that bothered me very much. But the Goten Trunks like arc or bits from the previous like sagas definitely were fun. And they definitely did do training for that. But it was almost like we have no one else. So here you go, guys. I will say, I also think they threw in the Master Roshi bit for people like me. Because I really like Master Roshi, and I don't feel like he gets a lot of action or anything anymore. So by throwing him into it, you know, he got more action, got to see stuff. That's right, though. They really only did it for throwbacks, like I'm saying. I feel like they did it for, like, me. And you know what? It's gonna be funny. One of my favorite characters... One of my favorite characters from the whole Dragon Ball series, Yamcha. And he doesn't get anything anymore. And in fact, the only things he gets now... I did not like the episode. It's like a weird filler episode. I felt like the baseball episode. Like, that's the only sort of like action he got was the baseball episode, and he was really lame in it. I know he was kind of always sort of lame, but in Dragon Ball, he wasn't, right? And he was actually a good fighter, and I loved his Wolf Fang Fist. Also, this is clearly not Bilston anymore. Okay, we have 4 CP to spend on something. So if we wanted, we could get Brawler, but we couldn't get all the way to X Counter. I do want X Counter. We could also just get a straight 10% damage increase. That's not bad. This is a 12% melee damage increase. For 8 points, we could get melee up by 22%. Yeah, I don't know. I think... Ooh, right. We've looked at this one before. Additional buff slots, not bad at all. However, we need a lot of points to get there. The 40% is really good, but it's situational. It's only damage on enemies that are attacking or charging. Now, enemies do attack and charge a lot, so we could get that 40% quite a bit. But if we come down this way, we get 10%. I mean, it's more points, right? This is 6 total points. This is 8 total points. But we do get 10% always. However, up here, right, we would actually get 12% on melee. But this is global 10 plus an additional 22 melee always. So for 32 total always melee damage is pretty good. Pretty good. I feel like, yep, we're gonna do it. I'm going that way. Activate, and we'll save 4 more points for Brawler. How about the fire tree? The fire tree is so large too, and also we don't have everything unlocked. I like balance. We might buy balance. Free, increased defense. Increased damage of melee and shooter. Can't go that way any further. What else we got? What else we got? The other thing we could do is we could hold on. I'm sure we're actually going to unlock these fire spaces from the next dungeon. We could just hold on to these points and then purchase part of those trees. Either that one, this one. You know what? I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to... That's dash art. What's this one? Guard art. No, let's go back over and look at the melee art. Yeah, I think maybe we'll hold on and we'll get one of these. Find the red flame. Oh, and we can't unfortunately even read what these do, but that's okay. We're gonna hold our points. You think Tien was your favorite? And the OG Dragon Ball was probably your favorite of the shows. So, my cousin's favorite was Tien. So my favorite was Yamcha, and my cousin's favorite was Tien. I don't know if I can't say which one is my favorite, right? Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, I like them both a lot, but they are different shows. I think Dragon Ball was more whimsical and fun, and Dragon Ball Z had a more serious element to it. I might be with you on the Dragon Ball being the more liked show. It's also my least watched show. I may not have seen every episode. I certainly didn't necessarily watch it straight through. But I've seen at least most of it. That's for sure. I've seen most of it. Yep. How about this? Let's go and do the duel. Actually, let's save it. I'm gonna even create a new save file. It's about time we have a new one. We have a new save file. We have new armor. We've spent some skill points. We should be a little stronger. You're gonna lurk now, Bomber? We're gonna go do the duel. We're gonna go duel Grasshead. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do right now. I don't think there's anything else really to do before then. Actually, hold on. We may have a single quest to turn in. Let's just double check that. Yes, we could turn this at the Arid Breeze HQ, which I don't remember where that is. Stop. Arid Breeze. Okay. This one. We'll turn this in real quick. Hi, Seeker. You have returned to us, and that smile on your lips speaks of your success, does it not? Ah, astonishing. This is truly ancient work. For even something as mundane as a travel guide to display such elegance. Magnificent. I can hardly wait to finally feast my eyes on the main course. I hope we can count on you again when the time comes. Bye! With the ancient travel guide retrieved, the search for the ruins can continue. Okay. Now we move on. Yeah, so we're gonna do the duel, but we're not gonna do the temple because it's already late. Your favorite? Okay, it might be blasphemy. So I'm prepared. I'm prepared. Your favorite arc in all of Dragon Ball was the Mr. Saiyaman Gohan High School arc. I really liked the Mr. Saiyaman arc as well. I did. I feel like hardcore fans or whatever, they didn't like it, right? But I liked it. And may have had a crush on Teen Videl. Blue-haired Spheromancer. I see, you have arrived. It is time for our duel. Once again, the location is just perfect. Again, seeking the attention of other players, Of course! He wants his audience, you can't talk him out of it, trust me. I feel like this guy definitely knows the other dude in real life. Yeah, you know what though, Bomber? You say that's when they were building up Gohan to take over the series. However, I think that they were actually intending Dragon Ball Z, the main character, to be Gohan. I think they were intending that, and in the beginning, right, when he's a baby, and then Raditz shows up, and Raditz goes to kidnap him, and then, oh man, his power's over 9,000. That whole thing, right? I think the intention originally, and it didn't go that way, but I think the intention was it was going to be a new series that followed Gohan in the same way that Goku was the main character of the first one, and it was going to be another, like, child antics sort of thing, but it didn't turn out that way. But I do think that was the original intention. So I guess I wouldn't be surprised if they were then still, if they still had it in their mind that maybe eventually Gohan would take over. But clearly that didn't happen either, right? Joran might be your favorite character in this game. Wait, is this guy that we're talking to, who's right behind my head, is this guy Joran? I can't see his name. The fans had other ideas. And actually, of Dragon Ball Z, specifically Dragon Ball Z, one of my favorite characters is Raditz, and he's not in the show for very long. I really like Raditz. In, what was it, Dragon Ball Z Budokai, right? Fighter game. I always played as Raditz. I loved that game. Yeah, the big Quadra guy is Joran. Okay. Anyway, talk to me when you're ready for the duel. Actually, let's do a new save, because of course, why not? We're right here. Here's the thing. I'm feeling like if we lose, save scum. That's what I'm feeling like. I don't feel like we're allowed to lose to this guy. I see you are prepared. Are you ready for the duel? Yes. All right then, let's go. Well then, good luck. Make sure to give Grasshead the beating of a lifetime. Are you ready? No, I don't feel like I am ready. Here we go. PvP combat, activate! Good luck, Leah! Oh, a lot of people are actually watching. Time has passed since our last duel. Our characters have grown. We both acquired the heat element. So it is time for me, Apollo, to make sure you are still on the right path. The path of a proper Spheromancer. Mantu, start the duel already. The path of justice! Let the duel begin! He's walking away from me! Get away, get away, get away! Hey yo! That was just a warm-up. Things are getting hot now. Oh, shoot, shoot, shoot! I was reading! You cheater! Oh, they bounce. Catch on fire, dude! Didn't. No! No, 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 no! That was close. Holy cow. Okay, I'm ready this time. That one bounced. Fire battle! Let's try the bomb. Oh, he's also doing bombs! I'm gonna lose this one. I'm gonna lose this one! Oh, I can't use items. We've only taken him down to half, and we're at 42. Duel! You're right, shield would be a good thing to do right now, too. KO, I knew he was gonna get me there. I won't let you win this easily. Now we have our shield. Need to, like... Not the bombs, not the bombs. Dang it, he dodged that. Oh, it's 2-2. Dodged it, what? Oh, he's gonna get me. He's gonna get me. Oh, wait, we have another round. Jeez, I didn't expect another round. dodge that. Oh, hold up. I'm at less life, though, which is bad. Which is really bad. Can't get away. I didn't even see the round counter at the top. We've got a lot more rounds, honestly. Boom! Jeez. Whoa, that was an interesting move. He got us. He got us. Looks like you still have much to learn, blue-haired Spheromancer. You still don't use her name? Don't be like that. It was a good duel, and a respectable effort on your end. I suppose I might as well use your proper name. Spheromancer Leah. I'm looking forward to our next duel. Does that mean we can finally play this game together like we'd originally planned? Yes, sorry I made you wait. Alright, time. Let's go. Or sorry, about time. Let's go. Until next time, Spheromancer Leah. Bye. It was close. It was close. So I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. Do we save Scum or do we roll with it? That was a good fight, Leah. You tried your best. Just make sure to punch Grasshead even harder next time. Well then, our next stage would be Fajro Temple, right? Exactamente. It's time for our third dungeon race. Oh, you two are racing dungeons together? And we're not trying to beat Emily in the race. Go for achievement. So the achievement would be the save Scum. Okay. We'll do it. That's right. We've been racing dungeons ever since we met at Newcomer's Bridge. Oh, that sounds fun. Then again, I guess there's no place for me in your competition. What do you mean, Tronny? Of course you can race with us. The more the merrier, right, Leah? Now, if that's the case, don't mind me joining then. Fantastic. Now I really can't wait. Maybe Leah wants a short breather after that duel? Just tell us when you're ready. So, let's try it once more. I gotta, not that, I gotta go here. And there should be a load game, right? Let's return to title. And then we're gonna specifically load our last save because the auto was probably directly after. Yeah, look at the time. Oh no! Now we got immense pressure. I'm gonna lose all of them, Bomber. Good job. What do you think? Do you think we were doing more damage with the fire or less? Because I kept pulling the fire out. In fact, I thought the fire did all right when we started. Let's start with fire. Skip cutscene, please. Oh, he interrupted my attack. See, like, then he switches to fire as well, and I feel like things go downhill for us when he does. course, I do the wrong move. He's gonna get us. Oh, there goes the 5 in a row. Jump into it. Jump back into it. Dang you. Just barely knocked that one out, but now we're low life. No SP! Oh, we dodged all of that last time, and we did not dodge it this time. Stay away! Oh, man. No. I knew I needed to block, and I didn't. Just a mistake on my part. That's the best thing we can do, is get him knocked into a corner or a wall, because then we can hit him a couple more times. Oh, we both tried to do the same thing at the same time, and he got his off first. More punching is good advice. We literally got like the same amount both times. I don't know, is he getting harder on each attempt? Or is he getting a more complex strategy that I'm just not correctly countering? The big ball swarm that he throws at us, that killed us twice. And when we did it the first time around, I dodged all of them. Maybe just barely. But, alright, see ya, Bomber. See, I'm trying this time without fire, and I'm getting destroyed. I don't know why. Destroyed. So when he's using fire, I'm definitely weak to fire. We both had the same exact idea in mind, and he just got his off first. He hit me. That one was super luck. Stay away from me! 3-3. Oh, he broke the guard. But we lived. No SP. Dang it, dang it, dang it. He's gonna break our guard again. I gotta dodge, I gotta dodge. I couldn't dodge. Ugh. Yeah, that's right. Hit that bomb. We got it. Oh. Oh. My heart's pounding. I can feel it. Yeah, his attack pattern has certainly changed. You've grown remarkably. I'm very impressed, Spheromancer. Leah, don't forget your promise. Right. You deserve to be called by your proper name now. Spheromancer Leah, I'm looking forward to our next duel. Does that mean we can finally play this game together like we'd originally planned? Yeah, sorry I made you wait. About time, let's go. Until next time, Spheromancer Leah. Bye. Alright. Congratulations! That was really impressive. You've shown Grasshead who's boss. Good work. Well then, our next stage would be Fajro Temple, right? And I imagine the rest of this dialogue is going to be the same. So we're going to kind of skip it. Yep, he's going to join in the race. And then maybe we need a short breather, and yep, that's where we are. A great spot. A great spot to end it for the night. Override the save. There we are. Bomber left right before we won. Smurf, hey, how you doing? We're ending the stream right now. We just beat Grasshead again. What's his name? Astro? Apollo. His name's Apollo. We just beat him again, although I will say we save scummed it. He did actually beat me 2 times in a row, but it was very close. It was 4-4, and then he got it. Yes. I never updated my my title. I am sorry for that. I was the whole plan, this whole stream, I was planning to do the dungeon, and we just didn't get to it. The story kept hitting. We got the new guy. We had to do the thing under the tree. We had to do a couple things, so we didn't get there. But that will be the very first thing we do next time. So hopefully you'll see you there, Smurfy. I do apologize though that we're ending right now. I got the big reveal though. The big reveal of the temple itself. Yeah, we did just see it, and we did the duel, which I wasn't. I should have been expecting it. I wasn't expecting the duel. Oh no. Maybe I didn't get the big reveal then. Why you can't log out? Oh, are you talking about being in a coma? That's got to be what you're talking about. Yeah. If we believe that we're in a coma. Yes. We got that last stream for sure. It's interesting, right? And then we have to talk about like what are Sebastian's motives and all of that kind of stuff. I don't think I believe the coma story 100%, although I think it's probably the case. Sebastian, I can't remember his name. Who's the guy who talks to us in our ear? It's close to Sebastian, isn't it? Sergey. Starts with an S. Yes. I don't know. I was saying this earlier, right? We don't know what his motivations are. We don't know, is he a doctor that's trying to help us, or is it something totally different? Is he trying to utilize us to get something that he couldn't get otherwise? Um, what I was saying is, I don't think he's a bad guy. He doesn't feel like a bad guy to me. But if it turned out he had negative intentions, I wouldn't be shocked either. And also, if he has any sort of negative intentions, then there's no reason to necessarily believe him when he told us that we're in a coma. Although I do think that's probably the case. I just like theory crafting. So, anyways, that is it for the night. Thank you everyone for joining. I'll get the stream uploaded, and you can get all caught up and everything. And then next time, for certain, we're going to start with Maroon Temple. And I imagine it's going to take us, what did the last one take us, like an hour and a half? It'll probably take us an hour and a half. So we'll see. I'm really excited to do the temple. Hope to see you guys there. That is the end. Have a good night.